was a stay-at-home. He was a reader. So he wasn't, running with a bad crowd or anything like that. He didn't drink, he didn't smoke, he didn't do drugs.
Yeah.
Well, see, Patrick I don't think he was necessarily antisocial. He would come out, he would join in the conversation, he'd say what he wanted, and then he would go back and start reading. But he was just, he was always in gifted programs at school, but he was an underachiever. He had quit his job. Patrick would have a habit, and he'd work for 2 years. He'd put money in CDs and stuff like that, and then he'd take 6 months off. And during that 6 months, he'd read and study and do whatever he wanted to do. He read everything. He had books. He had books on architecture. He had books on manufacture of steel. Well, the grandkids had spent the night, and we'd stayed up and watched movies and all night long. And the grandkids wanted to watch a scary movie with Patrick, so they stayed up and watched a scary movie with Patrick. And Patrick told them, I need to walk to the bank, to the ATM. And he never returned.
He did tell my daughter goodbye. I did find that out just recently because I kind of picked her brain. She was 12 and she was staying the night with my mom one night. And then he took off and she said he came in and he told me goodbye, I love you. Like he was going to the store or something like that, so she didn't think anything of it, But he said goodbye.
Yeah, because they got up in the morning and they went with us to Twin to go shopping. And I just left, Patrick had said he wasn't going to go, so we just left his, didn't even bother checking his room. I mean, when we got back, Angelina ran and knocked on the door and said, Uncle Patrick, and opened the door. And that's when she found his wallet.
His ID cut out.
Weekends, we would drive. We'd take the grandkids and we'd drive and we'd put the flyers in the plastic bag and hang them everywhere. When he got to be about in his 30s, they told us that these pictures were kind of outdated.
I have no idea what he looked like now. I have no clue.
He would go on 50-mile hikes and pick nothing up. He walked everywhere. He loved to walk. Since then, I've learned that he did on occasion hitchhike. A couple of years before he disappeared, he wanted to hitchhike around the United States. Oh, he'd met somebody one of Merle's employees in Jackpot had done something like that. And he had talked to the guy and kind of put the idea into his head. We had people come up to us and say, he's probably working on one of the cattle ranches. And I'd say, what? And he says, well, he knew everything about cattle breeding. And I'd say, he doesn't even know which end of a cow to milk. Oh, he went back to Chicago. And I says, back to Chicago? Well, yeah, he knew all the streets. He knew where the places were. And I says, that's because he would read about it. Patrick used to come up with different scenarios, because he would read mysteries. The perfect crime, the perfect
disappearance,
perfect where he would think out all these different things, and stuff.
Well, he worked in one 7-Eleven in California, and I worked in another, and like 4 o'clock in the morning. So he called me up, and he said, I come up with a plan. And like a missing, or I come up with a plan about how somebody could rob one of these stores and not get caught, or something,
They say there's like 10,000 a year in the United States that go missing. That's a lot. When you hear about another missing person, your heart goes out to the mother. This has put our family through a lot.
And people don't realize that when somebody's thinking about doing something like this, like disappearing because their family doesn't love them, doesn't want them, or whatever, or they think their life's over and there's nothing worth going on for, they don't even realize what an impact it has. I mean, 15, 20 years later, my kids are impacted, my grandkids are going to be impacted by it. It does not go away. It changes the family forever.
I don't keep a lot of pictures of him out because it's
Stressful.
it's very hard. I try not to remember. Even a year later, you're still emotionally a mess.
Or 5 or 10.